Hello everybody, thanks for joining me for today's video. My name is David. This channel is Damar's Coaching, and today's video is 7 signs someone may have borderline in a relationship. I just did a video, I think last week, about 7 signs, or not signs, what was it? Signs someone has borderline. I've done comparative borderline and histrionic and narcissist, stuff like this. Feel free to go watch those. This is more of serious things to watch out for when you have a relationship with someone with borderline personality disorder. Serious mental illness, okay? And I want to be clear that these are personal problems that will, not can, that will cause problems in relationships. All of them. So, problems in relationships, everybody has them. We all have personal problems. We all have problems in relationships. We're stuck with ourselves. We got to keep working on ourselves and become better versions of ourselves, but we're not stuck with anybody else, okay? And problems in relationships must be fixed or it's over because it causes stress. So this is what this does. These things cause stress. Life is hard enough, isn't it? Life is not easy. It's difficult. And has its own stressors. From financial stress, work, living, stuff like this, right? Danger, health. Relationships are to help us through the stresses of life, not cause more stress. So sign number 1, I'm not talking about this, but signs that you have a toxic relationship is stress. They're meant to add comfort. And I'm not saying that you have comfort on Monday and stress on Tuesday, and that's okay. You have stress, it needs to be eliminated, and problems must be fixed. And if they cannot be fixed, if they're not being fixed, if someone doesn't want to fix them or try, then it is over, okay? Disclaimer, for my videos that I make of borderline personality disorder, I have a playlist if you guys want to see more, lots of them on there. I have to make a disclaimer for this disorder when I talk about it. Because people with the disorder watch these videos. Welcome. Thank you for watching them. Love your feedback. There's just one problem is I'm not talking about you. There's a very distinct criteria for this disorder, and people with the disorder may not meet every single trait, not have every trait. They meet the criteria, but they don't have every single diagnostic trait. So I'm not talking about you, anyone specific. I'm talking about specific traits that people tend to have with the disorder. Okay, so not all, not talking about all. So 7 different things. First one, idealize the value. These are the super codependents, yeah? Not much of a self and looking for somebody to help them, take care of them, things like this. And they idealize. When they find, we all idealize to some degree, that's okay. But if I'm looking for someone to save me, help me, change me, things like this, imagine when I think I find that person. Oh, you're amazing. You're incredible. Right? You're my other half, my better half. You're my soulmate. I've been looking for you forever. You're God's gift. God gave me you. You know, perfect. Idealizing. Okay. And then there's the value. We'll get to that at the end. So something to watch out for with anybody that we're dating, okay? And it's not something we ask right away. It's personal. It takes time to get to know people. But in due time, before we commit to somebody for sure, we want to know a little history. What is their history? If someone is volunteering this right away, they lack boundaries, okay? Very big red flag. People that lack boundaries may not respect your boundaries. Understand them. That's how enmeshment happens. Codependency. Do they have a history of child abuse, child trauma, abandonment? And then the last relationship they were in, is it over? Some people will tell me, because we broke up, right? But okay, but you're talking every day. You still have sex. You have a relationship of some kind. I understand it's maybe different terms and changed, but don't tell me you broke up and it's over. If you still see them, talk to them, date them, sleep with them. The last relationship, may not really be over. Are they talking to them? Are they talking about them? Are they healed? I cannot stress enough to all of you that we don't jump right into a new relationship right away, especially if we're not healed from the last one, if we're still grieving. A lot of you guys deny that you're grieving. No, I hate them. They abused me. It was a fake relationship. It wasn't really them. So therefore, I didn't love them. So therefore, I'm not missing them. I'm not grieving them. I'm fine. I'm ready to date someone now. No. Ooh, it is vitally important that we heal from our past relationships and not take that into new ones. Every failed relationship takes two. There's got to be some kind of ownership, even if it's been complete abuse, one-sided abuse. We've got to take some kind of ownership and learn from this so we don't repeat it and do it again. Even if we find Mr. and Mrs. Right, there are things internally we need to fix, change, help, learn, heal. Okay? And that takes me into the victim. That's number 2. Victimhood, victim playing. They may really believe they're still a victim. I think we've all been victimized in our life. Sometimes someone's victimized us. But if they're not victimizing us anymore, we're not a victim, right? It stopped. We begin healing. Not the borderline. The borderline will be re-traumatized their entire life by so many different experiences that may not be traumatizing at all on their own, but re-traumatizing because they're not healed. Triggers mean you haven't healed. If someone's telling you, oh, that's triggering, that's triggering, that's triggering, you want to date that person? To have all these cautionary things you can't do and say and can't go there and can't do that. Oh, I told you you can't bring that up. What, the color red? Okay. Jesus. Any other colors I can't bring up? Numbers? Cities? No. A borderline will put you in a box. Can't do that, can't say that, can't look at her, can't say that, can't talk to them, can't, nope. Well, there you are. We've all been victimized. We're not victims anymore. Okay? We have to be healed to enter into a relationship, guys. If they're still talking about their ex, if they tell you how bad it was, and there's emotion tied to it, with borderline, there will be. There's a big problem starting new relationships if we're not healed from our old ones. And that goes to everyone. Everybody. Okay? Stability. Instability. Emotional stability. Mood swings. The most common misdiagnosis for borderline is bipolar. And I mean, it's so common, and I have so many people tell me they think someone's bipolar, and they describe the borderline perfectly. Okay? And you can go, I made videos about that. You can ask me about that, and you can go look up the difference. But mood swings like a light switch. There's thousands of different emotions. That's our body doing different things. Feelings are what it's called. And that takes awareness. But they're lacking that even. They may not even know how they feel. Very confused. We may have lots of emotions, and our body may doing things at the same time, many different emotions at the same time. I can be still upset for losing my dog a month ago, and I can be a little anxious about having to move next week, and I'm still upset about what my friend said to me yesterday, and I've got many more, okay, that things that my body's doing, but I don't need to act them all out. I'm sitting right now with somebody, with you, having a conversation, and we're talking about something fun and exciting, and I can get into that, and I don't have to change that, and all of a sudden it goes down to, but guess what happened to me last time someone did that? Anger, sadness, happiness, excited. Yeah, that's not bipolar. That's massive mood swings. And if it's pervasive, and all the time, patterns of this, probably a personality disorder, most likely borderline. Unstable jobs, always with good reason, right? I mean, my boss is just awful. He abused me, he hit on me. The coworkers, the company wouldn't do anything about the toxic coworkers who kept bothering me. They didn't take into consideration my problems. Always good reasons. I mean, but can't keep a job, can't hold a job. And that doesn't mean that if they have a job for 8 years, they're not borderline. if that happens, typically everything else in their life doesn't exist, halted. They don't have friends, they don't go out, they don't do anything, it's just job. Relationships, stop and start. I just want to get this out here. I don't know if I've ever said this in a video, I think so. But when we break up, it's over. We don't get back together. Is that just wild to some of you guys to think of that? If you break up with me, just be sure, it's not a threat. I love you. I don't want to break up. But if you ever break up with me, just know going into it, before you say it, before you do it, it's final. We're not going to stay friendly, sure, but I ain't hanging out with you. I ain't calling you anymore. No, I'm going to move on and find the next girlfriend someday when I'm healed and grieved over you. my new girlfriend doesn't want to hear about you. Doesn't want to meet you. That probably doesn't want me to be friends with you. That would be the only friend that I would drop for a new girlfriend. The last girlfriend. Yeah. Wouldn't be friends. But we break up, it's over. We don't get back together. Number one sign, toxic relationship, breaking up and getting back together. We don't do that. If you break up with me, no problem. We break up and it's over. Don't contact me again. You're not getting me back. Okay? And I can't even say this word on YouTube along with hundreds of others, but taking one's own life. Not all. Definitely not all. I've heard of, known lots of borderlines who don't talk about this, but it's thoughts, it's feelings, it's talking about it, it's a history. I've tried it, I've thought about it, okay? Remember, no stability, no security. Can you trust somebody who might take their own life every day? I mean, you're going to make plans with them, right? Imagine, seriously, imagine you own a sports team and the most expensive player on your team wants $100 million contract, right? And they've tried to take their own life 5 times last year. Would you pay him $100 million? You might not be around. I mean, how do you invest in something like that? And emotionally, how do you invest in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want to be here? Okay? And then we take this a step further, and emotional blackmail. One of the worst things you could ever do to somebody. It's so controlling, it's so narcissistic, it's so disgusting, is to tell someone you're going to take your own life to get them to do what you want or not want to do. Don't leave me, I'll take my own life. God, it's so common. It's so common with borderline. Somebody says they're going to take their own life, we call the police. It's a crime. It's illegal. You can assist in that? You want that on your conscience? Because I don't know what else you can do. You can talk them off the ledge. What about next time? Because guess who they're going to call every time for attention? Lots of people with BPD lose their own life because they just got too close. Didn't want to. No suicide note. Oops, said the word. No note. Just attention. And oops, went too far. I wouldn't want that on my conscience. Any of you tell me you're going to take your own life, I am going to call the police. Period. No stability, no security. Maybe the most important thing in your relationships, guys, is emotional security. To know that they won't leave you, that they will be there for you always, especially when you're down. And anything you guys share together, they will never share with anyone else. Never talk bad about you, only good. People don't need to know our problems. They don't need to know if we're getting along right now. They don't need to know anything. It's between us. Emotional security. We need it. Not like it, not want it, not feels good. Need it. Don't have our needs, we get sick. Relationship doesn't meet the needs, sick people. Somebody who wants to take their own life, no security. I don't care what you say. You want to take your own life. Don't tell me, yeah, you're not going to now, but you might tomorrow. You know, right? Don't keep telling me you want to break up. You know, another part of instability is a person's personality. It really doesn't change. Okay? We can change little things about ourselves, but we don't change who we are. But man, it seems not that hard for someone with borderline. Right? You can have a borderline who's 32 years old, female, who never has liked sports her entire life. And all of a sudden she comes home one day with a St. Louis Cards hat, St. Louis Cards jacket, trying to tell you, oh, there's no reason. No, I like the St. Louis Cards now. You like a team in St. Louis, but we're in Florida. You've never liked sports. Yeah, I do now. Yeah, be careful of that, guys. The borderline could go away for 1 hour, come back, and you believe that they were hypnotized. They're literally someone else. They'll do it too. They'll do it too. They will copy you, mimic you. But I'll get to the devalue stage last. General feelings of anxiety. So common with borderline. Another thing that's really common is that they're on Xanax. Xanax doesn't cure anxiety, okay? So if somebody's taking drugs for anxiety, that's a problem they need to fix. They're not fixing it by taking Xanax. That's not a fix. Doesn't cure it. You can look it up. I won't say it doesn't help temporarily at the time, but really all they're doing is having anxiety, and they're drug addicts now. They're taking Xanax and they abuse it. Someone who doesn't take Xanax one day but takes 2 yellow bars the next day is abusing Xanax. Depression, loss of interest, feelings of emptiness inside. I feel empty inside. I feel lost, scared. I don't know who I am. Dissociating. Don't need to get far into that. But dissociating, very common. Very, very common. It's almost a spectrum. How much do they do it? Lost, scared, confused, not understanding, delirium. Scared, confused, lacking awareness of their surroundings, not knowing where they are, what's going on. It's not always an act. Memory, can't remember things, focus, attention. I don't know how you have a successful relationship like that. Never finishing what they start. Go to Harvard, have a half a credit left, but never get it to get your degree. I didn't make that up. Implementing action. Borderlines can sometimes be, yeah, oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Oh, yep, that's my problems. Look at themselves, acknowledge their problems. You come up with a solution, which we don't do that in relationships. That's for professionals. And the solution makes sense. I love it. I'm so excited. Turn around, walk out the door, fall flat on their face. Never do it, never do it, never do it, never do it, never do it. And that leads me into therapy. Borderlines will either refuse therapy, go to therapy and never do anything, never change, or use it to abuse you, to control and abuse their victims and targets. My therapist said that you're a narcissist. My therapist said that you mistreat me. My therapist said you need to be more open and give me more attention. I don't think so. I don't think the therapist told you these things. And that's between you and your damn therapist. Accusations. And this goes part into the devalue stage, right? You're not so great anymore. They attach stress. They can't handle it. People that can't be in relationships, like people with personality disorders, eventually stress happens in relationships. Could be days, weeks, 6 months. And that's when the traits surface. That's why they're so great in the beginning, and then it starts to go to poo-poo. Quick. Accusations, perceived threats, paranoia, abandonment. I know you don't love me anymore. Are you going to leave me? Where are you going? Why didn't you tell me? Where are you? Who you been with? Why you take so long to answer my phone calls? Return my texts? Are you cheating? Who is that? Who are you talking to? As partners, we're here to reassure ourselves. Reassure each other. I hope we're reassuring ourselves before we reassure each other. But we're here to reassure each other. That's offering emotional security. But again, somebody has personal problems that are too big, that cause problems in relationships, it's not going to work. And that's a big one. Yeah? I can't reassure myself, and now I'm going to have a relationship with someone else. Now it's your job. And I'm so excited I met you. Yeah, you're going to always reassure me. Sure, until we attach, and then you're scared that I'm going to leave you, and I can't reassure you because you can't even reassure yourself. So when this happens, stop reassuring that person. Stop. Stop. And stop defending yourself. You don't need to defend yourself from things you didn't do. Okay? These are problems that are too big, cause problems in relationships. Sudden friends. All of a sudden they have, you've known them for 2 years, 4 years, and all of a sudden they got this best friend you never heard of. Oh yeah, they've been my best friend for a long time. Or, oh yeah, I just met them, I love them. That's that stop and start. Be careful. And that leads me into the devalue stage, guys. Idealize, devalue. Not available. Talking about other people. Accusing you of things you didn't do. And then abandon. A lot of borderlines will tell me, I don't abandon, David. My problem is I'll stay forever. I understand that. But people that fear abandonment tend to abandon. Okay? That's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Come up with more, please. Always ask questions, okay? If you think you're in a relationship like this, seek help. Just get another opinion, okay? Love yourself first, guys. I'll see you again later. Bye.